Hi everyone, welcome back to Plant Happens. It has been a while. I think it has been more than a month, maybe closer to 2 months since I uploaded last time. My work got super busy. I was talking about it a little bit with my previous videos about how my work has been unexpectedly busy. But yeah, that has continued and it has actually got even busier with added work. And I really didn't feel like filming for a long time because, when I got home or during the weekends, I was just super tired. And on top of that, with spring break, we had both children at home for the most part. And, we also had my birthday. That's busy because, I'm going out to have dinner, lunch with people. And so, yeah, that's basically life got in the way and I haven't been able to film for a while. And to be honest, I don't think my work gonna be settling down for at least another few months, I wanna say. So I feel like I might not be able to upload as much for a while, but I will try to squeeze in whenever I can. And this is me squeezing in because, it was super nice out today. I think the lighting is great. So I thought, what better day to film. And today, as you saw on the title, I am doing kind of like a plant update. My first ever video on YouTube was my top 5 current favorite plants at that time. So I wanted to show how they're doing after, how many months has it been? I think I started in October. Can I speak? October or November. So I think let's just count from November. So November, December, January, February, March, it's almost April, so it's been 5 months at least. And I just want to show how those plants are doing and, show you maybe what to expect if you wanted to get those plants. Also, I might be looking at my phone to check what it looked like before and what I even talked about in that video because, nobody remembers what happened 5 months ago, right? Anyways, okay. All right, so before I go down the rabbit hole of talking about everything that's happening in my life, let's just jump into this video and hopefully you enjoy it. So the first plant I talked about in that video was Begonia sarawak. So this is her now. After checking the video, I would say it's probably about 50, maybe 70% bigger than that time. I don't think it's doubled in size, but I also did chop this plant to propagate. I hope it will focus. Let's see if it focuses. No, not focusing. Okay, I need to change the focus mode. All right, but anyways, I was talking about Begonia sarawak. So this is what it looks like now. And I would say it's significantly bigger than before, especially considering I've cut it many times. I've cut it at least 3 times to trade or share. And I still really, really love this plant because same as before, I really enjoy these tiny little leaves. I think it's still my favorite begonia, and I like these circular shaped leaves a lot, so I'm assuming that's why I love this begonia so much. And the texture looks almost velvety. I don't think it's velvety to the touch, but as you can see when you have a light shine on it, it's almost iridescent. I don't think this light is enough to show because the ambient light is pretty bright, but I'll see if I can insert footage with my phone flash on in the dark. You can really see the blue iridescent in this plant. But anyways, so this is as you can see a pretty good I wouldn't say vigorous grower, but it's very like once the roots are established, it grows constantly, it doesn't stop, and it flowers a lot. What I do is I usually let the flower, like leave the flower alone for a while, but once I feel like I had enough with the flowers, I would just chop them off. I'd rather have the plant save the energy to grow more leaves. So yeah, this is Begonia sarawak currently. I love how it looks like it's like falling out of the pot now. I love that look. Super cute. And I don't know if I showed it last time, but the back of the plant is quite red. I don't think you can see very well, but yeah, here. So yeah, that's why when the new leaves comes in, they are quite red and then they turn to this dark green color. Very pretty plant. Highly recommend this. Even if you think, you know, you are not good at growing begonias, because I honestly is not that great with begonias. I've killed plenty of begonias, but this one has been a trooper and it hasn't been too difficult. I think a lot of people are scared to grow this because it looks delicate, but it has been quite easy to take care. Just keep the soil moist, but even if it dries out, you know, it's actually quite dry now. It doesn't die right away. So there you go. Okay, so the next plant I have is this. I think it's called the elephant tree. I feel like it suddenly got dark, but hopefully there's no problem. I'm gonna read the name from here, if I can find it. It's Operculicarya, decaryi. I can never remember this name, but anyways, this is the little tree that I showed in my first video. Now I think you can tell, I might insert clip over here so you can compare, but it has a lot less leaves now, and you can see some leaves are even drying out, and it might be really hard to see this plant because, you know, it's so small and dainty, but hopefully it will focus. See, so these are the tiny leaves that grow on this tree, and as I mentioned in the earlier video, it's quite delicate. It's easy to take care, but it's delicate. And I think I mentioned in the first video that I bought this plant from Crystal Star Nursery in the East Coast, and when it arrived, it dropped all the leaves. And I assumed that it was because of the shock from the shipping, which I still think it was the shock from the shipping, but it was also the season. So when I first purchased, it dropped all the leaves and it started growing leaves, and then it dropped leaves again. And then I assumed at the time it was because maybe I let the roots dry out too much, and then I repotted into a bigger pot, and then it slowly grew back to what you saw last video. I think the last video was the most lush this plant ever looked. But after that, it started dropping leaves again, despite I was regularly watering it. So now I think it might be the season. I think in the winter, maybe this does kind of hibernate and go dormant. So it drops all the leaves. But, you know, I kind of at that point figured that's what's going to happen. When it started dropping leaves, I just thought, okay, now I think it's the season. So I wasn't worried. I kept watering it, not as often obviously because it didn't have a lot of leaves, but I just basically let the soil dry out, and then I will water it. And as you can see, it's growing more leaves back as I anticipated, and I still really love this plant. I'm so sorry the focus is going crazy, but with this kind of wispy plant, it's just really hard for the camera to stay focused because it tried to focus on my face before the plant. But yeah, as I mentioned, this is like a really cute little tree you can have in your house, and I feel like it doesn't grow much bigger. Like this still is the exact same size as before, I think, even though I feel like it did grow some new branches, but it hasn't been growing taller or anything. So I think if you have a restricted, like you have limited real estate within your house to put plants and you don't want them to grow tall and big so fast, this is something you can consider. And even if it starts growing like out of hand, you can always kind of trim it back and then, you know, make it to look the way you want, almost like a bonsai. So yeah, I still really love this plant. It's one of the most unique plant I have in my house, and I think it just looks really cute. I'm sorry I'm talking like this, it's really weird, I know, but that's the only way I can get it to like not focus on my face too much. Anyways, okay, so that is whatever the name of this plant is. I'll put it down here again. Yeah. Okay, the third plant I talked about in that video, I'm really hoping this is focusing. I'm really sorry if it's not. But anyways, the third plant I talked about in that video was this Philodendron ring of fire. I think when I talked about it, let's see, this was the newest leaf that still looked somewhat orange. But you can see that it's almost fully green now, but you can still see there's variegation. And then it grew this leaf after that, but unfortunately I walked by it without being careful and it broke off, and somehow the leaf hasn't died. I think it's like connected by tiny bit of leaf blade there. Not sure if you can see, but somehow it's supplying nutrient to the rest of the leaf and it's still not dead. And it took a while from there to grow a new leaf, but it recently put out this leaf. Oh, can you see? It's really hard to show, but yeah, you can see the orange variegation in the leaf. Yeah, I still really enjoy this plant, but I feel like not as much as when I just got it. It sucks to say, but you know, it's sometimes you just fall in and out of love with plants, and the problem, or not the problem, but like what should I say, the hardship that comes with this kind of plant is that it grows so wide, because the growth pattern is like grows leaf in every possible direction, so it can get sun from all the different angles, right? So that just becomes horizontally, like it grows horizontal spread, and it takes up so much space. But you know, it's still a very pretty plant. I'm just having a hard time finding a place for it. But I'm not hating it so much that I'm gonna get rid of it, because I still really like the color. I feel like the color is very unique. I think one other plant that has this color for me is Nangaritans and maybe Linamii, because I don't give my Linamii a lot of light, so it's not super those, it's not coming out like the bubblegum pink. It's more muted, like these kind of like a corally color that it's giving so far. But I think I always welcome pop-up color with my plants, because you know, they always end up being green, even though I love green leaves obviously, but sometimes it's nice to see different color in your collection. Anyway, so this is the Ring of Fire, doing great still. This is one of the plant that's in soil. I don't have a lot of planting soil, but this one is, and so far it's doing great. I'm surprised that I haven't overwatered this because I suck at growing plants in soil. Okay, I see the lighting kind of going crazy on the camera. I hope it doesn't show up on the footage. But okay, so the fourth plant I have here is my Mandula pothos. I'm sad to say it's not looking the best. It's not looking terrible, but it's not as nice as last time, I feel. Because basically I told you guys I was really busy with work. So a lot of my plants got underwatered. And when I feel like pothos or philodendrons, when they get underwatered and they are getting a lot of light, what happens is their leaves get burned very easily. So I think I can show you that some of the bottom leaves definitely has yellowing, and I thought maybe it's pest. So I did like full inspection of the plant. You can see there's some like spots. I honestly thought maybe it's like pests, but it's not. It really isn't. I can't find any pest on this, and it is continuing to grow new leaves. So there was a lot more leaves at the bottom that fell because of yellowing from the underwatering, and I suppose these damaged leaves will slowly fall. But anyways, the last time I showed you guys, the top leaf was this one. This was the top leaf. That was the newest leaf that grew on the plant at the time. And this leaf was there too. And so it grew 1, 2, 3, 4 more leaves since then. I mean, I feel like pothos should be growing more leaves within like in 5 months, but since this one is getting bigger leaves, maybe that's why it's growing a little bit slower. But these new leaves are stunning. I love these sectoral variegation, I think you can call it, because Mandula can get more marble variegation, right? But I think most people enjoy more chunky, the sectoral looking variegation on this one. And I feel like sometimes I see people refer to this type of variegated Mandula as Harlequin Mandula. I'm not sure if that's actual a thing. Maybe it's a different type of Mandula, but my understanding was that they're just more white/cream variegated Mandula, and I feel like I'm getting that look with this plant. And as you can see, it's getting to the top of this moss pole. The moss is completely dry, as you can hear. Again, I've been neglecting, and I feel like I will need to extend it pretty soon, but this is literally touching the top of the shelf now. The light is like, oh, you can't even see. So the top of the leaf is like, this is the top of the shelf, and that's where the light is mounted, so it's super close. But as you can see, the top leaves are not being burned, so I'm assuming this plant can take quite a bit of light unless you underwater it, and then it will start to shed the bottom leaves. But still, this is really pretty still, and still my favorite pothos. I don't think I will get rid of this, and I might cut it maybe under the top 4 leaves so I can start it again. But I've done that before, and what happened is the bottom cutting just died after that. So I don't know what that's about, but I might need to find a new place for this, new location to put this. But isn't it super pretty? I just can't get enough of this plant. If you don't have Mandula pothos, I don't know why you don't, but you should get it. And I feel like this one can size up much easier than other pothos. I've tried other pothos. I tried Gisenia on the moss pole, and it just wasn't as nice as this. Okay, anyways, that's the Mandula pothos. Super pretty. And last but not least, this is my Hoya lacnosa mint coin. It's still a bush and it's still very pretty. And I feel like if you look at this and compare it to like the old footage, I think it looks about this, they look about the same. It might not look like it's grown up anymore, but I've literally taken like more than 10 cuttings from this plant and it still look the same size. So you can what is it, you can gather from that experience that this grows really fast. And it's been really hardy. Like every time I cut it, it puts out new growth right away. You can see there's a new growth here, and then there's another new growth here. And so far I haven't seen any of them revert or anything, so that's a really nice sign too. But yeah, I see some damage from underwatering again, but still, it's just very nice silver Hoya. If you are looking for silver Hoya that is not expensive and that is not likely to revert, this is the one you want. It's just super pretty and it's just super easy to grow. I haven't had any problem rooting this with any substrate. I haven't had any problem moving this from one substrate to the other. And in the Lacnosa family, I think this probably is the prettiest Lacnosa, or even one of the prettiest Hoya I have. Because, you know, I've compared this to Silver Dollar, and Silver Dollar just don't grow for me. Okay, they grow, but really slow. And I think it's just more rewarding to have something that grows constantly, right? So yeah, I don't know if this update was fun for you guys, because I feel like I'm repeating myself from like what I was saying before. And some of the plants I literally, actually I haven't repotted any of those, and they're just growing fine. So I don't know if it's fun to see, but I think at least I can show you that I haven't killed any of them. Some of them are not doing perfect, but they're still alive. And you know, I'm like repeating myself a million times, but I was busy, but I was still able to keep them alive. I think that shows just plants are resilient and they in general want to live. And you know, it's just finding your relationship with your plant. And you know, even though when you see this situation, leaf falling, yellowing, I think we can all come to terms with that. Especially a lot of you have a lot of plants, myself included. I have hundreds of plants. And I think it's just unreasonable to think all of them will look pristine all the time, and sometimes leaves drops, and that's fine. We still enjoy the new growth, and you know, it's okay. It's okay to have leaves drop. It's okay to have some plants die. I think I had some plants die during this time, but you learn to live with it, and the most you can expect is just you learn from that experience and you can do something better next time, right? Anyways, I don't know why we went into life lessons, but this is the last plant from my update. And I hope you enjoyed this update. I just kept this short so I don't have to spend hours editing, but hopefully I can do something a little bit more fun. I'm trying to schedule maybe collab with some of my friends, and hopefully we can get that done this summer. Anyways, okay, so that was very short, but hope you enjoyed it. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps the visibility of this channel a lot, and I appreciate if you can do that for me. And if you like to see more videos from me, please consider subscribing and maybe turn on the notification button as well, so you'll be notified every time I upload. I think you can choose to receive notifications sometimes and all the time, and you know, you don't have to if you don't want to, but that will help me for sure. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you soon again. Bye now.